Hello and welcome back to another episode of Math with So. Today we're going to be finding all rational zeros, which means we're not concerned with imaginary nor quadratic formula stuff today. Now you could graph this in your graphing calculator. You can look and you could see that it goes and does this sort of number, and you could just find the three zeros from that. Okay, so if you have a graphing calculator, you could find it out lickety split. But if you don't, what you would need to do is you need to start guessing and checking using synthetic division, but you would start with your possibilities, which would be the factors of 1, which is just 1, and divided by the factors of 3, which would be 3 or 1. Okay, so we essentially have a possibility of 1 over 1 or 1 over 3. That's the only possibilities. They could either be positive or negative. Okay, so you pick one of them. I would highly recommend you always start with the number 1 as a possibility to test out. And you put your 3 here, your -1, your -3, and then the 1 from these numbers in front of the variables and whatnot to do your synthetic division, which I'm going to go through kind of quickly. I do have a synthetic division video if you need it. 1 times 3 is 3. Add, you get 2. 1 times 2, you get 2. Add, you get -1. 1 times -1 is -1. Add, you get 0. And then from here, you started with an x to the third, so this would be x squared plus 2x minus 1 equals 0. Your whole idea is to get something from an x to the third down to an x squared so that you can factor it. And you may have all sorts of different factoring techniques. I like the tic-tac-toe method, which is the factor box method. You put your first term here, you put your last term there, middle term in the box. You multiply 3 and -1, you get -3x squared. What multiplies to -3, but adds up to 2? That would be -1 and +3. We put the 3 with the 3, x times -1, x times +1. So that means our factors are 3x minus 1. And x plus 1. Those are the factors that are not the other zeros. You would have to set each of these individually equal to 0 to find the remaining zeros, which means you would have to add 1 and divide by 3 to get 1/3, and you would have to subtract 1 to get x equals -1. Now, a lot of people forget this last step, so you got like 2 of them. Those were the harder ones to find, but you don't forget the original 0 that we had in front that is also a 0, because if it's x to the third, you should have 1, 2, 3 zeros. There they are, okay? So do not forget that one, because they are equally important. So that's if they're all rational. We're going to have a different video if they are not rational, but